Hey gamers, what is up? My name is J104 and today we're playing a game that is kind of like a game I've played before on the channel, that game being Skate or Skate 4 or Skate Early Access. Any of those names work, kind of. And as you could tell by those names, this game is the next release in EA's Skate franchise. I'm unaware if it's a proper reboot, but counting that to my knowledge, the Skate games don't have a story. It's probably not a major reboot, or more along the lines of a soft launch that we've seen a lot of games do recently, where say they're up to the third installment, but then they just refresh the name. I don't know why. Maybe it's because people are more likely to buy a game if they think it's the first in a series instead of the fifth. But I don't know, I'm not a human psychologist. Those are the sorts of people you to ask for questions like that. I'm only good about talking about video games and I'm not particularly good about that. But ignore I said that. So what is my experience with the Skate franchise before playing this early access game? Well, much like everyone from my generation, I have played Skate 3 on the Xbox 360 and I had a ball of a time trying to do all those thread the needle gaps and absolutely murdering my character on a side of a building multiple times in a row. Apart from that, I have never played Skate 1 or Skate 2. I actually kind of didn't even know there was a Skate 1 or Skate 2. Like, I assumed there was, but I've never heard of them. I've never even seen them mentioned in a YouTube video. But I've seen a lot of Skate 3 videos, so who knows, maybe it's just because Skate 3 was such better installment on the other ones, or it's been around the longest, so it's had the longest lifespan. I, however, was a Tony Hawk sort of kid growing up. I had played Pro Skater 4 and 5, which are more recent, but anyways, I played Pro Skater 3. I played Tony Hawk's Underground 1. I didn't play 2 until covering it for a video and I did not enjoy 2. But that's not important. I was much more into the Tony Hawk ecosystem than I was the Skate ecosystem. But to be honest, both games are pretty similar in their controls, and from what I remember of Skate 3, Skate Early Access is also very similar. However, there is one big change, and that is the art style. It's gone for a slightly more cartoonish look that lets you look like this character on screen, which is my character. Also 100% how I look like in real life, so it's nice finally to get some representation in video games for female gingers with full thick beards. I feel seen. But all jokes aside, I don't know if this art style is one that I am particularly fond of. I think I still prefer the look of Skate 3 than I do of Skate. But I feel that will just grow on you over time, because the art style doesn't particularly matter when all Skate is about is skating. But even then, I don't think it's about skating. I think it's about smashing your character's head into a brick wall time over time over time over time again, trying to get your body to fit through the smallest of gaps that it should just fit through. Which is something I haven't looked into in this new Skate game, but I hope there are still those thread the needle spots. I remember seeing them on TikTok all the time, just be like, that's cool. That took you 6 days to hit. Probably better ways to spend your time, but that is very cool to see. So obviously this is a early access game. It's hard to know what the game will be like upon its release, but the problem about it going to full release is, from what I've read, it's happening within the year, relatively soon. And well, the early access does not have the most amount of stuff to do on it. At the current time, all you can really do is go around to these own the spot challenges, which requires you to do 4 things in order to conquer a spot, which most of those things are either being stuff like grind and then grind for a certain distance, do a flip trick into a grind, do a grab trick, jump over a bench whilst getting a certain score, which of course these are fine and also what I would expect from a skate game. However, I would kind of hope that there is more upon the full release. Like, at this point, to my knowledge, all you do is go around doing these challenges in the different districts of the map. But then I don't even remember what you did in Skate 3, because I feel the skate games once again are not about the story or the progression. Like, I did about maybe 7 of what the game was telling me to do, then I just said screw it, I want to find the tallest ramp in the game and jump off that, which I did and was very fun. It reminded me of the Mega Park in Skate 3, which is always a good thing. However, on the topic of map, obviously I haven't explored every single spot entirely at the moment. I'm getting close, I've got a couple hours in the game. At this point I prefer the Skate 3 map. I just loved that mega skate park there. There's so much cool things and fun times to be had around that area. Then there's the jumping the shark, that was pretty cool. The game where the series jumped the shark, you see it works, it's a metaphor, I think. But then maybe it's just because I had so much time with the Skate 3 map, playing Skate for a couple years on and off, and then obviously seeing it so much online when I stopped playing it anyways. So maybe the map will grow on me. It is a possibility. However, there is one final topic I want to cover, and that is something bad that Skate has done that I think they could improve on for their final game. That is, I was chilling at this mega car park ramp, and some guy decided that he was going to have fun, but no one else was, setting up a bunch of rails in front of the ramp so that no one else could do the ramp. Now, it took me a bit to figure out, but you can go into a menu, then disable for you each one of his ramps or rails one by one. Maybe if I went on the profile and like the players in the session, you could find him and just disable all his props. But I feel it would be better if the props for other characters for you start off as disabled, and then you can go for and enable them if you are in a group with them hitting jumps and sessions together. Or maybe like if you have party members you're playing with, their ramps can be playable for you. Automatically you need to still manually disable your party's ramps or rails, but randoms you do not. But that's just one small problem that one guy happened to do to me that happened literally 15 minutes ago, so it's still fresh in my mind and I'm slightly annoyed about it. But apart from that, it's been a fun time. For an early access game, I think there's a fine amount of stuff to do. As I said, they need to improve that for the full release, but it's okay at the moment. I mean, the art style and the map is not for me. Those are all things that can grow on you over time, and probably will if you play the game. I don't know if I will be buying it upon its release. I will definitely consider it. I might wait for it to go on special someday, then I'll pick it up. But at the end of the day, you can smash your face into buildings at top speed over and over and over again repeatedly for hours on end, and that is what makes a good skate game. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. If you don't disagree, leave a like. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider subscribing. That's up to you. I have been J104. Peace.